We got to work together during the Jeffersons Live. Remember that?
I remember you singing and walking through.
Oh my God, she remember that? Listen, the Jeffersons is one of my it is my favorite sitcom ever. So to be able to do this and then to be able to work with you was beyond a dream come true. And to see you watch you play Florence, like, what was it like to play Florence again?
Well, Florence introduced Marla. Without Florence, nobody would know who Marla is.
Ah, that's a good way to look at it.
That's the only way to look at it.
Yeah. What was your favorite part of working on this show?
Working with Sherman and working with Roxy.
Wow.
And of course, Isabel.
Wow. That was an amazing cast, an amazing show. I can't believe
it really was.
Yes. And
Ned Werdemer, the doorman, and we continued working together. We did autograph shows up until he passed. He made his transition.
Wow, that is a blessing to be able to do what you love, you know, until you go on. And then Norman Lear, he was a champion for you. You remember, like, what was the first time you two met?
When I first got the show.
Yeah?
The producers brought him over because they wanted him to hear me say the line, "How come we overcame and nobody came me?"
That was the line.
Nobody told me, and I changed it.
You did?
And so the producers were, "What's wrong?" I said, "Well," they said, "No."
Wow.
"Do it the way you did it." I said, "Oh, okay." So then I did it that way forever.
Forever, and it's so iconic. It's so iconic. Let's talk about your costume. Now, The Jeffersons is an iconic show, and then your costume for Florence ended up in a museum. So how does that feel?
I haven't seen that yet.
You haven't seen it yet? Look, here it is, this costume right here.
Okay. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yes, that's how the beautiful impact that you've had on the industry.
The best wardrobe person, Adela Farmer.
Adela Farmer.
We were friends till she made her transition.
Oh my goodness. That is a blessing. It's such an iconic show. And it's one of my absolute favorites. It really is. And then you were just at the Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony with Lenny Kravitz. What was it like watching him grow up and then see him receive his own star?
Oh, he was wonderful. My son and he were close to the same age.
Oh.
And so my son would be there and he would tell me, "Lenny's so good, Lenny's gonna make it." So I said, then I told Lenny that a few years later, and then he came over to his house to see him.
Wow. Did you used to play, is it true you played tennis with his mom, Roxy?
Roxy was one of my best friends, yes.
Wow.
Anytime she wanted to do something new, she'd get me.
Yeah.
I don't know why. But she took me to play tennis. And we were going to work with this guy who had been a tennis player. He was well known. I didn't know him, but he was well known. And so we got on the set and we had these rackets. You got this little ball. And for the life of me, we couldn't hit that little ball with that big racket. And I said, "Why can't we hit this ball?" We spent the whole time running after the ball. And I said, "This is not working."
He said, "Let's not do this again, huh?" That is hilarious. But speaking of teaching, not only are you a legendary actress, but you also made jazz albums and you owned a jazz club. This is new to me. I didn't know this. That is amazing.
Yeah, that was a jazz club called the Memory Lane that I had been to several times. And O.C. Smith was singing there sometimes. And one day I went with a psychic friend of mine. We were trying to go see a movie, and we were on Hollywood Boulevard, and the traffic was a nightmare. So we got on. I said, "Well, let's go down to the Memory Lane." So she said, "Okay." I said, "Let's go hear O.C." So we got down to the Memory Lane and went in, and dinner was over.
Oh.
So we went in the dining room, but they came out, they said, the cook said, "Dinner is over, but she'll be very happy to make 2 chicken dinners for you." I said, "That'll work."
I know that's right.
So we got 2 chicken dinners, and while we were sitting there, the owner came in from the kitchen into the dining room where we were. said hi. We sat down, we talked, and he said, "So what are you doing?" Well, I was getting ready to open a coffee shop on top of my theater, the Crossroads Arts Theater. And, but I didn't want to tell him that. That sounded kind of trite. So I said, oh. But as we talked, he asked me again. He said, "So what are you getting ready to do?" I said, "Well, I'm thinking about opening a jazz coffee shop."
Oh, nice.
So he said, "Well, why don't you buy this place?" I said, "Oh, Larry, you're kidding. You're not going to sell this place." He said, "I will. I just want to sell it to somebody who's going to pay me."
I know that's right.
So I said, "Okay." So there was a house next door to it that he owned. So we worked it out that I would buy the house next door, and that would be like the down payment for the club.
Wow.
So if things went wrong, I still had the house.
You're smart.
So that's what we did, and I ended up buying it.
Nice.
And they were telling me that jazz was dead. I said, "How can my music be dead?"
Right.
You know, in Chicago, we grew up on jazz.
That's right.
We skated, danced,
Yeah.
everything we did was to jazz.
That's hard.
So I hired more jazz musicians. They said, I hired more jazz musicians than anybody. Because most of the jazz clubs were closed.
Yes.
So mine became the thing to go to.
That was the place to go, huh?
Anyway, I love jazz. I still stay in touch with a lot of the jazz musicians.
I understand that because I love jazz, blues, all of that stuff. We need another coffee jazz shop. I like that.
But
concept.
now I have.
You mind if I borrow it from you? My goodness. Now, I want to ask you one more question. Like, do you remember the first time you got recognized from being on the Jeffersons? What was that like for you?
I was in the grocery store, and this lady grabbed me. She took me over to another aisle where her daughter was, and she said, "Guess who this is?" "Who is this?" Her daughter looked at me like, "Who is it?" So she said, "Get the door yourself. You do it." And the daughter's still looking at her, so I said, "The Jeffersons."
You were in the episode of Not Dead Yet, and you played a ghost. I gotta ask you, have you ever had an encounter with a ghost?
No.
No?
No. A couple of people in my family say they have. My stepsister always say my mother comes to her, but she hasn't come to me.
Oh, okay.
I'm too busy, I guess. My mind goes. I guess they start and they say, okay.
Are you afraid of ghosts? Are you? No? You're not afraid of them? Oh, she tough. She said, no, they may be scared of me.
No, we're all spirits.
Yes,
That's why I'm 30.
You are 30. That's right. I love that.
But we are spiritual beings as well as physical. As spiritual beings, we don't have any age and we don't have any time. So I choose to vibrate on 30.
I love that. You also have a new movie coming out. Love the Skin You're In. It's coming out. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, it's a wonderful movie. It's about helping people in the community, especially women. Women who are homeless and women who are having been abused and going through problems like that.
Yes.
And so when I read it, I said, this is my kind of movie.
Yes.
And I got to work with Oba Babatunde, who played my son in The Visit with Hill Harper and Billy D. Williams. We did that movie, but I haven't seen him in ages. So we got to work together. Then Adela Barnes was on it.
Nice. You stay on the road. Don't she keep it up? Oh my God. Now I have to ask you, do you prefer comedic or dramatic roles?
Whatever's paying me at the time.
I did not expect that answer, but you know what? You're right about that too, okay? If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe to the Jennifer Hudson Show YouTube channel. Check your local listings or visit jenniferhudsonshow.com to see when you can watch full episodes in your area. And don't forget to sign up for the newsletter.